Today we're going to do a pre-trip inspection on truck 7030. This driver's log needs to be filled out every day. We start with the top section here with the date, the driver's name, vehicle number, the start odometer, payroll start, leave the yard, lunch start, lunch end, return to yard, job start location. All these that we're going to check here is what we're going to show you in the video, and then down at the bottom you want to note any deficiencies that you have with the truck, and the manager will make sure to get that fixed for you. So the first thing we're going to do is go inside the cab of the truck and show you how to pop the hood. The latch here is down here at the bottom by your left foot. You'll pull this towards you. It says hood on it, so once you pull that towards you, you'll hear the hood pop, and we'll go to the front. Once you get to the front of the truck, the latch sits right in the front here. You'll slide that to the left, and you'll be able to then lift the hood. We'll start left to right. To the far back here is your windshield washer fluid here. You can see the picture in yellow. That's where you would fill it. Once you're full, put the cap back on. Next will be your battery. We'll check the cables, make sure they're good, nice and tight, which they are. So that's good, and we'll keep on moving down. Jump up here. So first thing here is this truck has a transmission dipstick. We want to check this when the truck is running. When we do have it running and we get in the cab, we can put that in gear, pull the dipstick out. We would wipe the dipstick. We'd put it back in. This is when the truck is running and it's warmed up. And then we pull the dipstick again, and we take a look at where our level is. On this you can see there's a cold, and then there's a hot section. This is where we would want it to be in this hot section here after we have it running. So put that back in. If you did need to add some, this fluid is also here on the label, and it says Mercon LV. See it up at the top here, 5W20, 7 quarts is what it takes for oil. Since I'm right here, I'm going to be checking the belts, making sure that they're intact, they're not torn, ripped, or off the truck. We can also check the hoses in here, check anything for any leaking. Overall, it looks pretty good. Once I come down here, here's the oil dipstick. This will be checked when the truck is not running, so we want the truck to be off when we're checking this. So we'd pull the dipstick first, wipe it off, place it back in, all the way down, pull it back out. Here we see the level is low. We'd want it to be at least up to this line here, so we would definitely need to add. And we'd slide over here, 5W20. You can see the cap here. We would take the cap off, put our funnel in, add the 5W20, and then go back to the dipstick and make sure that our level is good. Directly in front here is going to be our power steering fluid. Same thing here. You check on the side. There's a minimum maximum level. If you can't see it, take the cap off and look inside. While I'm up here, we can check our steering linkage, make sure it's good and intact, and it is. Airbox, it's good, it's intact, it's locked in. Directly behind it is your coolant. 50-50 premix is what we use for this. We want to make sure when we do take this cap off, the truck is off, it's cool. We don't want it to be running, it's under pressure at that time. Cap comes off. Add your fluid, and that has a minimum maximum level on the side. Directly behind there is your brake fluid, minimum maximum level. You can see here we're good, it's at max. On the cap it tells you .4 is the type of fluid that it takes. If you need to add, take the cap off and then put the cap back on. In this section here, this is your fuse box here. You would take the lid off. You can check all your fuses in there. If we were diagnosing a problem, make sure that you put the lid back on so that it doesn't get wet, destroyed. All right, so we will move on from that and get inside the cab of the truck and check what's going on in there. Take that. All right, so once you get into the cab of the truck, make sure that the gauges work on the truck, our seat belt works on this truck. So I just started the truck. We can see that the gauges do work in it. For the video purpose, I'm just going to turn it off. So we'll check that our seatbelt does work, and it does. Nice and secure. We've got our lights here on the left-hand side. This is off. Parking lights, headlights on. We've got a dial here for each mirror. You click it all the way to the left if you want your driver's side mirror, all the way to the right for the passenger side. These windows are power, up and down. They both work. It has lock. It works. Since we're on this side, we'll take a look down. There's our emergency brake there. We would put this down with our left foot. See that it's engaged. Then the switch that's above it, we would pull that and that would release it. Come over to the center console here. We've got our radio here. All the way to the left is off. Once you click it on, this will also give you your volume, and now it has the power on there. There's a button here that says channel. You can switch it to 1 or 2. We usually are on 2, so that's what we're going to keep it on. Next is your arrow board. In order to get this to turn on, we'd have to come up a bit here, and there's an auxiliary switch here for beacon and arrow board. We're going to hit that up, and you can see now it has given us power. So we're going to keep it on for day, and then you can use this dial here to switch whatever you need it to have on. So right now we'll keep it at 4 dots, and then when we get out of the truck, we'll take a look and see. So here's a little bit different. The main one here is aux 4, and that's the only one that you need to put up. It'll give you all your beacons outside, and it'll give you your arrow board power for outside as well. Next, going up here is your power for your defrost, fan speed, cool, hot. I can hear that it's working, so that's good. And just also with the radio here, I like to tell people you have to make sure to press this button and hold it in to speak. So before you take off, make sure that everybody can hear you. We'll also take a look at our windshield. It is not cracked. It looks good. Our wipers do work. Our fluid does come out, so we're good there. We'll check the horn. That works. So now we will go to the outside of the truck and make sure everything is working on the outside. All right, so once we get to the front of the truck here, make sure our headlights are working. Headlights, good. High beams. Turn signal left, right, 4 ways. Okay, good. You can see that all our lights are working currently. We'll go to the back. Our beacons are working, our 4 dots are working. 4 ways. Good. Left, right, brake, reverse. Good. All right, so we'll continue doing the outside inspection for this truck. It's a box truck, so we want to make sure that everything is secure. It does have a lock on it so that this isn't going to go up while you're driving down the road here. We'll check the tires. It's a dually, so we want to check both of them. Get down, kick them, make sure that they're hard. Check the tread on there, your leaf springs, everything, making sure that it's intact. Nothing's broken. This looks good. You've got your mud flap on. That's good. It's not torn. This truck takes gas only. Let's make sure of that. This is where you would fill at It does have the tether on there so we don't lose it. And just make sure that you put it back on when you're done. So we'll come around here. Now this trailer isn't for this truck, but in the case that this was the trailer for it, it would have hydraulic arms that come off. We'd want to make sure that the pin is inside here and it's secure. We want to make sure that our chains are crossed and they're hooked and that they're intact. They are. They're working. They look good. We want to make sure that we're hooked up here and that we're getting power to the trailer to make sure that our lights are working, which we will go back and do that because I did forget to do that. Making sure that the hitch is intact, the pin is in and secure so that the trailer isn't going to go anywhere. We want to make sure that on this trailer that our jack is working. In case we do have to take the trailer off, we do have a jack. It does work. Keep going around inspecting the outside of this truck here. Same thing on this side. We want to make sure flaps are down. This one has a lock, so we are secure here. Mud flap is good, it's intact. Both tires here, make sure they're hard. Check the tread. Get down here, leaf springs. It's hard to see the rotors in here, but if you can get back in there and take a look, we want to make sure that these lugs are on tight. They are. But just making sure that nothing's broken, nothing's hanging, nothing's leaking. Door's locked. We'll check that. Kick the front tire. Check for the tread. This one you can see inside and look at the rotor. Make sure that everything is tight here with the lugs, your springs. Nothing's leaking in the engine, shocks. Looks all pretty good here. So what I'll end up doing is going back and taking a look at the lights on the trailer. I'll have you get back in the truck because I did forget to do that. Like I said, this trailer isn't for this truck, but in the case that you do have the trailer on there, we want to make sure that we come all the way to the back here and make sure that our lights are working on the trailer. So 4 ways, they're good. Left, good. Right, good. Brake, good. Reverse. Okay, so the reverse on that, we would have to definitely get working on that. So I would put that in for the deficiencies on there to be fixed, and we can see all the rest of the lights do work on it. So this will conclude the inspection for 7030.